pay for every belt that you win, there's a sanctioning fee. So now if a fighter was an interim belt, he has to pay a sanctioning fee. If a fighter has just the regular belt, he has to pay a sanctioning fee. Then if a fighter is a super champion, then he has to pay a sanctioning fee. This is not good for the sport of boxing.
I see them though.
The true ruler of boxing has just been cheated. Less than 3 months after Terence "Bud" Crawford achieved the unthinkable and defeated Canelo Alvarez to become the new face of boxing, his title was taken away. He did not lose inside the ring. He was not knocked out. He lost it because he refused to pay a demand for money. The World Boxing Council asked Crawford for an unbelievable $300,000 sanction fee just to allow him to keep the green belt he had already earned. When Crawford refused to pay, the title was removed immediately. What makes this situation even more shocking is not only the money involved. It is the response from the rest of the boxing world.
On Terence Crawford's side on this one, what do they do? But someone needs to tell me what they do. Because ultimately, again, the commission do the majority of things in terms of you put a fight in Vegas, it'll be the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they will appoint the judges. I mean, one thing they do, I guess, is that clean boxing program thing with VADA. But I'm pretty sure, and I stand to be corrected, that it's the fighters that pay for that as well. So what do they do, people, that they think that they can just go and take a percentage of a fighter's purse? Nah. And look, the green and gold belt is, obviously it's very prestigious. For me, it's the best belt in boxing. I sometimes kind of battle with that and the Ring magazine belt. But that doesn't mean you can just take the piss. It really doesn't mean you can do whatever you want to do, that you can just make up a percentage, that you can ask for a fighter for a percentage of their purse. No. And all this as well, like this thing, like surely before a fight, if you are going to take a percentage, surely that has to be written down, contract, lawyered up. I'm surprised if you, that's why it's even more crazy. It's the wild, wild west. Like surely if this is the percentage you're going to take from Crawford, it's okay, Crawford, you know, in order to have this undisputed fight, which is very prestigious, this is the percentage we're taking from you. And Crawford signs it off before the fight's even done. In fact, before his purse is even given to him, that percentage is already removed. The fact that you are waiting on Crawford just to pay you, big WBC for me.
As Crawford unleashes his anger online and warns that he will reveal the truth about the system, another dangerous fighter has now shared a response that feels cold and powerful. Isaac Pitbull Cruz, known for fighting every opponent with pure aggression, was asked about the controversy. His short answer cuts deep and exposes the hidden side of boxing politics that fans are never meant to witness.
Issue with the WBC this morning, they stripped him at 168 pounds. He was complaining about sanctioning fees and things like that. Just what are your thoughts on that whole issue?
¿Cuál es tu opinión de lo que pasó con Terence Crawford por la mañana, que lo dejaron sin el cinturón de la CMB por no pagar la tarifa del cinturón?
Bueno, es algo que se tiene que cumplir, como el protocolo de antidopaje con VADA, pero bueno, él sabrá por qué no quiso.
To see why Pitbull reaction matters so much, you first need to understand how badly Crawford was disrespected. This was not a calm discussion or a simple email. This turned into a full battle. On December 3rd, reports confirmed that the WBC officially removed Crawford as the super middleweight champion. Crawford did not wait for any official statement. He went live on Instagram, and his anger was clear. In a speech that is already being remembered, he stared into the camera and directly addressed WBC President Mauricio Suleiman. He challenged him openly and said, "Who do you think I am? You better slap yourself."
Him $300,000 plus another $100K something for sanction fees, right? Then he gonna tell me I ain't even apologize? Like, who the fuck you think I am? Boy, you better slap your fucking self. Ain't paying your ass shit. Fuck you talking about pay you $300,000. What makes you so motherfucking better than any other sanctioned bodies? Huh? Answer that question. What makes you better than the WBO, the IBF, or the WBA? Everybody accepted what I was giving them. But you, the WBC, think that you better than everybody, don't you? So since you, the WBC, and you got the fucking green belt, which don't mean fucking shit, the fucking real belt is the ring belt, which is free.
Crawford explained that the WBC demanded he pay hundreds of thousands of dollars just for the right to hold their championship belt. He refused and made it clear that he would not give them any money. He said he had already offered a fair amount which other groups like the IBF and WBO accepted without issue, but the WBC wanted more. Their demand kept rising. When the pound-for-pound champion would not give in to pressure, they took away his title. This situation sparked a debate that is now dividing the sport. Crawford's main message during his outburst was clear and powerful. Fighters are being taxed.
It makes sense. I'm the motherfucker that's putting my life on the line, not you. You ain't stepping your motherfucking ass in that ring. You or nobody else. You or nobody else. So why should I have to pay to carry your belt? You should be paying me. If you want to be truthful, you should be paying me. I don't see, it irks my nerves how this dude gets on a plane, gets a hotel suite, him and his buddies, they go out to dinner, 5-star meals, all that, you know, and guess who gotta pay for it? Us fighters. We paying for y'all to come out here, have the time of y'all life, stay in the best hotels of y'all life, and it's all done on our dime. It's done on our dime. Do that sound right to y'all? It's crazy, ain't it? We the one out there getting battered, knocked upside our head, and every time we step foot in the ring, we gotta pay them a sanction fee like they the government. We getting taxed.
Think about this for a moment. Fighters are the ones putting their lives on the line. They take the punches. They drain their bodies to make weight. They risk long-term brain damage every time they enter the ring. At the same time, the sanctioning officials are men in suits who never take a hit. They use these huge fees to fly first-class stay in luxury hotels and enjoy expensive meals paid for by the fighters. Crawford called the green belt nothing more than a trophy. He explained that the famous Ring magazine belt, which represents the true lineal champion, costs nothing at all. It stands for greatness, not a payment slip. By saying this, Crawford is taking a serious risk. He is exposing the idea that the alphabet titles fans chase may be empty traps created to take money from fighters.
A clear 0.6%, which is $300,000, with $225,000 going to the Jose Sulaiman Boxers Fund, which is to help former fighters in need. And it is just regrettable. Not even a thank you or I'm sorry, taking a different route, no response. I wish him the best. But this is not. The WBC is huge, it's great, it's about greatness.
So where does Pitbull Cruz stand in all of this chaos? Cruz is in the middle of his own fight week, getting ready to defend his title against Lamont Roach Jr. When reporters spoke to him, many expected support for Crawford or anger toward the system. Instead, Cruz delivered a calm, almost military response. He did not shout or complain. He simply said that they have to pay. It was a blunt and realistic answer. Cruz said he respects Crawford's view, but for him and his team, this is just part of the business. He explained that they stay away from the drama. To Cruz, these fees are just another hurdle, like facing a tough style or dealing with a bad referee. You do not argue with it. You accept it and keep moving forward. This creates a clear divide in boxing today. On one side is Crawford, the rebel champion, ready to fight the system to protect his money and pride. On the other side is Cruz, the disciplined warrior who accepts the rules and carries on.
I appreciate you, because everybody in the world know you was going for Canelo. You was mad that I beat Canelo. It's okay. It happens, you know? But if you a real fan of the sport, you would have, said congratulations instead of having that little smirk on your face, all mad and pouting. But listen though, you should have took the money and you should have been thankful and grateful that I was rocking your belt around as your champion. As your champion, the WBC champion. The undisputed champion at that. But you want to make it about you. You want to say, oh, well, you stripped me. Like, I've been stripped before. The IBF just stripped me when I was at 147. Doesn't matter. I'm still considered the undisputed champion. I'm still the champion in the division. Because you know why? The only belt that's recognizable as the champion is the ring belt, baby. That's the #1 belt in the division. That trumps.
But Crawford's anger went beyond just the money. He made a serious claim suggesting deep corruption at the top of the WBC. He openly said that Mauricio Suleiman was upset that he defeated Canelo Alvarez. Here is the double standard that has everyone talking. Canelo held that same WBC belt for 2 years. During that time, he refused to face his mandatory challenger David Benavidez. The WBC did nothing. They allowed Canelo to keep the belt, the fame, and the money. Yet the moment Crawford wins the belt and refuses to pay an inflated fee, he is stripped immediately. Crawford asks the question on everyone's mind. Why are the rules different for him? It shows that these sanctioning bodies are not neutral referees. They are businesses that protect their favorite stars and punish anyone who does not follow the rules.
No longer a belt holder coming into his next fight, a fight that's still expected to make a lot of money due to Canelo's popularity and ongoing contract with Riyadh season. This means that for the first time in 7 years, not a single sanctioning body will benefit from Canelo's earnings. So the sooner Canelo becomes champion again, the better for them. But for the time being, they'll have to rely on Terence Crawford as their sanctioning fee provider. These sanctioning bodies make a lot of money from Canelo being their champion. Like, why did you think there wasn't any pressure coming from them when Benavidez was Canelo's mandatory? It's because if Canelo lost, then they'll have to rely on Benavidez and his $7 million purses. And if they decide to bully and pressure Canelo, and Canelo says, you know what, screw it, and decides to vacate the belt instead, then it's the same thing. They lose the benefit of a
Pitbull Cruz did not only talk about the fees. In the same interview, he addressed another issue that highlights a troubling side of modern boxing: the acceptance of cheating. He was asked about rival champion Subriel Matias, who recently tested positive for the banned substance Osterine. Cruz's reaction to this was much more intense than his response to the fees. He criticized the sport for being too soft and said that drug violations are now becoming normal.
WBC champion, you guys are fighting for the interim. WBC gave him like a year probation. He's still facing that guy Smith in like a month or so. Just what are your thoughts on that he tested positive and they're not taking the belt? Doesn't seem to be really facing any consequences. What's your thoughts on that?
Bueno, ¿qué opinas de la falta de consecuencias ante la situación de Subriel Matías, que dio positivo de Ostarina? La Comisión Mundial de Boxeo le dio un probation de un año, pero más allá de eso, él sigue peleando dentro de un mes, no parece que pasa nada. ¿Qué opinas?
Pues es algo que ya no se vuelve limpio y creo que deben de tomar cartas en el asunto para ya ser más estrictos en esta parte, porque al final del día se está convirtiendo ya algo normal que cualquier boxeador lo esté haciendo. Igual con Jennifer ya salió igual con la misma o probablemente con la misma dosis, entonces ya tiene que haber alguna sanción más fuerte y ya no debe de haber ningún tipo de porcentaje de tolerancia.
Connect the dots here. On one side, you have a sport that will take a legendary champion like Crawford title away immediately over a money dispute. On the other side, you have fighters testing positive for speed, and the response is often slow and bureaucratic. Cruz wants strict rules against drugs because they actually harm people. But the sanctioning bodies seem much more focused on strict rules for late payments. It shows where their priorities really are. Not on protecting fighters, but on protecting the fighters' money.
It's free! How you love that? $180,000 free. How much your belt cost? I wonder how much your belt cost. Huh? I don't see no receipts on your belt. It's crazy. Y'all be having so much taxes on these belts. You got some nerves. It's crazy that you can sit up there and have all these belts. You know, you got the WBC silver, the WBA intern, the whatever belt y'all got, and you taxing these fighters every time they fight, and you claim that you for these fighters. You're not for these fighters. You probably worse than the promoters. But hey, I wish you the best, you know? I wish you the best, you and your company.
The WBC has tried to move on quickly. They set up a fight between Hamza Shiraz and Christian Imolai to claim the vacant title. They want a new champion fast to make people forget that the real champion is still undefeated. But even that plan is running into problems. Reports say negotiations for the Shiraz versus Imolai fight are already stalling. The belt is now in limbo. Its value has dropped. By taking Crawford title away, the WBC did not damage Crawford's legacy. They damaged their own. Anyone who wins the green belt now will know they did not beat the true champion. They only paid the fee that Crawford refused to pay.
A clear 0.6%, which is $300,000, with $225,000 going to the Jose Sulaiman Boxers Fund, which is to help former fighters in need. And it is just regrettable. Not even a thank you or I'm sorry, taking a different route. No response. I wish him the best. But this is not. The WBC is huge, it's great, it's about greatness.
Now Terence Crawford has drawn a clear line showing that he does not need a sanctioning body to prove his greatness. Isaac Cruz shows the other side the harsh reality that surviving in this sport sometimes means paying the fees. This raises a question that could reshape boxing. If fans know who the best fighter is and the Ring magazine belt is free, why do we let these organizations charge millions for a piece of green leather? Crawford has shown he is ready to walk away. If more fighters follow his lead, the entire system could fall apart.
The WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, does have a point because historically it's always been 3%. That's what the fighters play, and that is what it is, and that's what it's always been. Obviously, a fight of this magnitude, which was being billed as Fighters of the Century, $50 million allegedly he got paid for that one. They don't want to take 3% off him. They said let's do 0.6%, which is $300,000. So I understand it, and that's just the way the system is. Don't tell me he's not paid the WBC sanction fees before, because he must have. But now what he's saying is, I don't want to pay that because I want to, the Ring magazine are the ones that have got it right. The Ring magazine obviously is one of the most historic belts and considered the number one of the 4-belt era, the Ring magazine, but they don't charge. So that's where he's at, and that's the point he's making. But then how did the WBC then make their money if they don't make commissions off? It's like everyone charges for everything. All the other sanctioning bodies would have charged him as well, whatever that was. So
it would appear to me that there's 5 sanctioning bodies, which would have been the WBC, WBA, the IBF, the WBO, and the Ring magazine. That's why it's 0.6%. Because if you divide 3% by 5, you get 0.6%. I have very little respect for the WBC and the way they operate. I have very little respect for Mauricio Sulaiman. I think they're a hypocritical, disingenuous organisation. But I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with what he said there. And if it is indeed the deployment of those funds go to the well-being of fighters, we can't have an industry that constantly talks about the need to look after its own, and then when it gets to the top end of the tree, the top end doesn't want to pay it.
What do you think? Was Crawford right to keep his $300,000 and reject the belt, or should he have paid the fee to preserve history? Alright, everyone, stay tuned for all the latest boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Glove Lords and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Make sure to check out our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.